This meeting is being recorded. So, okay, we have already started, but we're starting in terms of the recording. So we've got a short poll, and I'm just launching it. And here's some questions. Right, so first one is, how familiar are you with the methods library so far? Okay, I've contributed to the methods library in the past, i.e. added a method. It's my go-to resource when I prepare for a session. I'm a frequent user of methods in the methods library. I've searched for methods a few times. I know of it, but haven't used it. And today is my first introduction to the methods library. Okay, so I'm told that 100% have voted, and 43% of people, which is 3 people really, they're brand new to it, and 2 people have searched a few times, and 2 are frequent users. Okay. Polling, does that mean that we're going to end the polling? Let me relaunch or continue. Okay. Oh my word. Looks like we've only got one question on the polling. So here we go. This is what happens, but luckily we have the questions, or I have the questions. So let me just ask you, and you could answer in the chat or tell us. Oh, sorry, no, it's only one question. There you go. Sorry about that. I thought there were a whole series of questions. That's all we need to know, okay? So several people are brand new. Apologies. Should have double checked on that. Okay, so what's up next is I'm going to share the screen again, or maybe somebody could do that for me. We're just going to have a little look at the history of the methods library. All right. I don't think we need to rename ourselves. We just, when we get to the group work, we just probably have 2 groups considering the numbers that we've got. Vim, are you ready with your animal yet? Maybe not. Okay. Ben, can you put on the slideshow? So, or Irene is the one doing it.
Yeah, I can see a slide already being shared.
Yeah, Irene, can you put it on the big screen, the slideshow, so we can see it a bit more clearly?
I'm trying. I'm used to slides, so I'm struggling here.
Oh,
let me
okay.
see where I'm supposed to be.
You are master chef today, Irene.
I'm actually not a very good one because I'm a creature of habit, and now I'm really losing everybody.
Go to slideshow, eh?
I'm trying. Let me get there. I'm getting there. Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Fantastic. Good. Right. So this is a brief history of the methods library. It was started in 2004 by John Jenkins, who is a member of IAF. And the whole idea was, basically for lots of methods to be available for different members to make use of. And, I think John and Maureen Jenkins, his wife, just spent a lot of time and a lot of energy compiling hundreds of methods that could be available for other members to use. And over time, it's developed. Other members have contributed. And then between 2016 and 2018, it was renovated with a new home, which is Session Lab, and Andy represents Session Lab, and I think he'll tell us a lot more about Session Lab. It was relaunched in 2019, and switching on the lights happened in October 2020 during Facilitation Week. And, the whole idea of this series, as Ben said at the start, is to really encourage more people to make use of it. And I think that's how it will grow and develop over time. Okay, so that's a brief history of the methods library, but I'll hand over to Andy now, and he's going to tell us a lot more.
Cool, thank you. Hello, everyone. If you could stop sharing as well, and then I can share in a minute, that's perfect. So I'm Andy, I work for Session Lab. And what has Session Lab got to do with the methods library? Well, I'll give you a bit of an introduction. That's where Session Lab is, where the methods library lives. So Session Lab is some online software. So it's a completely different company. Started around 10 years ago by a few university graduates who got really fed up, as we probably all are, of designing agendas and workshops and sessions in Microsoft Excel, sending it to somebody else who then completely ruins your work, or sends you back a version 5 when you were working on version 6 and you don't know what happened. It's just a nice way to be able to plan agendas, to plan workshops, or any sort of 1 day, 2 day, 3 day workshop you might be doing in the software. So Session Lab, I always describe it, is made up of 2 big parts. You've got one part, which is the session planner. So whereas you might use Excel or something to design your agendas previously, you can use the session planner to really to put your agenda together. We'll look at that a little bit later on. And then the other big part of it is the whole methods library. Now, there is a methods library that's completely available for the public. So there's an all methods view, which we'll look at in a minute. But there's obviously the IAF specific section of the methods library, which is where all the IAF methods are housed, which are available only for IAF members to come along and view. And this is where you can get your great inspiration, whether you're doing a warm-up or a energizer or a team activity, and you're fed up of using the same thing over and over again. That methods library is where you can go to really find some fresh inspiration. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're first of all going to look at how you get there, and then we're going to do a little bit of browsing inside the library. And then I'm going to leave you, we're going to have a little bit of a chance to play on our own. So here I go. So I should be able to see my screen here. I've gone to the IAF world, or the IAF website, and then clicked on Learn and Grow at the top here, or hovered over Learn and Grow and gone down to the methods library. So just the IAF website, Learn and Grow, and methods library. And on this page, you can have a nice read about some of the different parts of the methods library, what it offers, who it's accessible to, etc. But when you're ready, you can click on the blue Access the Methods Library button here. And that will open up this page. So this is just my second tab here, but this will open up the methods library. Before we go exploring inside the methods library, when you land on this page, one of 2 things will happen. You'll either be logged in on the top, and I can see that I am logged in. There's my avatar. But if you're not logged in, you can create an account. So I'm logged in. I can look at my account settings, and that's where I can connect to the IAF. So if I'm already a Session Lab member, if you're brand new and it just says log in and sign up on the top here. So if I zoom across, it will say log in, sign up, and you can sign up and choose to sign up with the IAF. So you make sure that you link your IAF credentials with your Session Lab credentials. And the reason why that's important is because when I'm in the IAF library, you can see just here 571 methods. So I can see all 571 methods available to the IAF members. If I wasn't logged in, or if I hadn't linked my account, I would just see around 50 methods which are made available to the public. So any problems with that, please let me know and we can make sure that you're connected well. Otherwise, let's begin exploring. You've got I mentioned at the very start of when I was talking, you've got the all methods view. So this is completely available to the public, just all the different methods that are available. But we're focusing, of course, on the IAF section here. You can add on any different category along the top here. And here today we're looking at warm-ups. So I can click on that category and that will apply that category to all the different methods that I'm looking at. I can see of those, what was it again? Of those 570, I can see 125 of them are warm-ups. So now I can take a look through and start browsing through these different methods. When I see one that I like the paperclip method. This is how you can try and think of as many different uses for a paperclip as you can, but I can click on it. This will give me a bit of information, maybe a goal of what to achieve in this method, any attachments that might be useful, some instructions here too, and then there's some comments down the very bottom of each activity. Now, adding a comment into an activity is a really nice way to share your feedback with your community. So for other IAF members, it might be nice to say, this worked well, this could be improved by doing X, Y, Z. So any feedback you have or comments, it's really nice if you can make this library an interactive space. So when you finish looking at a method, you can just press the X to move back. Now, the last thing I'll show you inside the library is just the ability to filter down even more on those activities. So I can click on the filter button here. And remember, we can see this is in purple, so the warm-up category is still applied here. But I want something really specific because I am putting together an agenda between, let's say it's between 20 minutes and 30 minutes. So I need something that's about 20, 30 minutes for about, let's say 20 to 30 people. And using that, I can see my results have narrowed down to about 70 different methods. I can, using those parameters or those different settings here, I can browse through again and just click on any one that I think might look quite good. Gratitude wall. I can click on that one and just open it up. Have a read through, see any instructions, any background and comment again there too. Now, directly from this method, you can use it in a session. That's how the two parts of Session Lab that I talked about are linked. So the library and the workshop. That's how we can link this method into one of our workshops or one of our sessions, but we'll look at that later on, so don't worry. But for now, what we're going to be doing when we split into a couple of breakout groups is just making sure we can get into the library, making sure you can see all those 570 different methods, and then having a little bit of time to navigate through the different activities here, clicking on any that interest you, applying any filters, and then using these filters here to look at the desired length, adding in any tags that you might like to look at there too. Right, so I think I'll stop sharing my screen and hand back. That was the introduction to how to get to and how to start using the methods library.
Thank you very much, Andy.
You're welcome.
Over to Aichi now. And I'll share my screen for you, Aichi. Aichi, can't hear you at the moment.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much for that introduction. I've also learned a new thing, although I've been visiting the Session Lab, but now I know how to go there faster to get to what I want faster from your presentation. Thank you so much. And I hope everybody enjoyed that. Now we want to dive into warm-up activities. And we have these 4 questions, and we are going to request Irene to guide us to use a collaborative platform to just hear from all of us. Why do we need warm-up activities? When do we need warm-up activities? What are some of the key considerations in doing warm-up activities? And what type of warm-up activities did you recently use in your facilitation session? So if we could just have Irene throw in, we are going to use a Jamboard, I think.
Yes.
If Irene, you could throw that,
yes,
and everybody can just fill in. We are going to have like 10 minutes, I think, to do that, Irene. Or
yes.
And that, but let's see what we get. Thank you, Irene. Karibu.
Thank you, Aichi. I have shared the Jamboard link in the chat. If you click on it, we all meet at the Jamboard side. Oh, yes, someone shared that. That's great. So what you're going to do is you're going to the 4th part on the left-hand side of the screen, and then click on the sticky note write in and save. Write in your answer to, you can pick any question that you want to answer at the start, and then put it under the right question that we are asking there. So don't worry about the colors, just make sure that once you type and it goes there, you just drag it. If you just click on it, you can drag it to wherever you want. So you just click on there. Let's see how many people have arrived. I can see, yes, I think we are all of us there. So you just need to type into the fourth sticky, and then you put it wherever you want. Don't worry about the color, just put it under where you want it to go. I believe build energy is about, yes, just drag it to wherever you want it to go. If you know how to change the color, please do, and put it under the right color if you want that. But if you do not know, you are new to Jambo, don't worry, just type it in and just put it across there. Yeah, and I can see quite a number of things coming. Aichi, you are with me here? I can see we are building relationships. Then under why do we need warm-up activities is build energy of the group, get to know each other, create connection, to make the group feel included. Yeah, create connections, make active. Then we have in the second one, we have at the beginning of each day and after lunch is a good idea when to use warm-up. Oh yes, fantastic. Then at the end and beginning, when people are bored, yes, when people start closing their eyes, and I always tell them we are not praying at that time, so I always want them to open their eyes. And then early in the session, yes, I always have warm-ups when people come late, you know. When people are late, I always make them dance or skip the rope or just do a childhood game that I usually have. So that's one of the things that you do. Then what are some of the key considerations in the middle of the session? Is a good time, something which people will want to do, nothing awkward or embarrassing, yes. But you'll have read the room, I think, when you're doing your warm-ups. You read the room and decide how that works. And then also what to be inclusive as possible. Yes, you have to be very inclusive. If you have someone with disability, you have to find something that includes them also. So you need to think about that. Oh, these are wonderful, wonderful ideas. What type of warm-up activities did you recently use in your facilitation session? Participant to mention villages they are from. Oh, that's really good. I think one of the warm-ups that I like drawing is the hopscotch and jump. You know that where you do 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. I usually do that with sellotape on the ground when people come in. And then I just leave it there and you'll find people jumping, grown-up people just jumping because we forgot that we are all children at heart. Yeah. Singing is one of them. Yes, singing is a good one. Yeah, it's a good one. Not necessarily good singing, but at least it's good. Yeah, I like what are some of the key considerations is culturally accepted activities. Yeah, you will not go to the village and start doing some of the activities you do with people in the urban area. So you need to be considerate about that. And also, if you are from the east, when you go to the west, or when you are from the west, you go to the east, you need to consider that. Yeah, role playing is one of the types of warm-up you've used, yes. You use warm-ups for ease of tension and ground setting. Yeah, that's wonderful. Sometimes you can also use for getting people to say why they're there why they are actually why they are at that session, why they came for the workshop, what they expect to get. So you can use, oh, dancing is really good. Yes, that one is good. And also a bit of nursery rhymes, you know them. Yeah, there's a very popular one that is from South Africa, which I get people to dance to. I'll share with you one day. So It's really good. So, Aichi, over to you.
Wow. Thank you very much, Irene. I think this has been very, can I say prolific? We have generated quite a lot of things, and I believe we are all learning new things here. Okay, can we go back to the program, John? We now want to go to the breakout groups, I believe, and somebody is going to help us to do that. And then we have questions to do when we get to the breakout groups. Are we together?
Yeah. So what I would do is, if we can display the questions first, and then I will be able to know where we're going to be answering to. And then I will split us into the various groups. We are 11 at the moment, so I'll do 5 in the group. So, John,
can we get the questions? Thank you very much, Ben.
I have shared them in the groups. We are going to identify one person to share the screen if need be, explore the methods in the warm-up category, and discuss other methods and how to add them to the library. So you're going to be discussing just those in the, I believe that's the session, right? Otherwise, I might be misleading people. Those are the things. You identify one person to share, whoever is in the IAF library or session lab, and then you explore searching for methods, and then you discuss. So it's going to be like that.
Excuse me, Irene, can we get the questions in the groups as well? Is it
you
possible?
will, if you open your chat, when you go to the groups, it's always there because I've already shared it.
Okay,
Yes,
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Aichi and Irene with us as well.
Okay,
Yes.
hi. How many are we here?
5.
5 of us.
5
Hi,
of
everyone.
us.
Hi, Wim.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry, it's a little bit crazy here, dinner time, so I'm doing this kind of managing kids as well.
No problem.
Okay.
That's fine. It's home time, Vim.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Okay, so can we,
I'm
Shanda, can you take over from me in the breakout groups, because I'm in the plenary? I think that will be good. And I don't know whether we can share the screen when you go back to plenary here to lead in our group in a way that you would also share your screen even when we go to plenary.
So would you like someone else to share the screen? I've shared my screen.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yes,
So,
I've shared my screen, and we are going to warm-ups.
Yeah.
So
yes, I think you can just navigate first again.
Oh, I was already there. You'd like me to start from IAF?
No, I think
Okay,
we can start from
here.
there. Are we comfortable? Andy's here,
I think
Shada
so.
is here.
Actually, Andy is here, so
are you comfortable with that?
I'm here, so I can help.
Want us to start from
yes,
scratch,
Andy is here. Andy is here,
Huh?
so we have
Andy
help.
is here,
yeah, so we have help.
I'm not watching though. I'm not watching or listening. So no, I'm here to help. If I can share my screen or help, just let me know.
So
okay.
Yeah, go on, Aichi.
Okay, so we can see Andy showed us how to go into details. Like when you look at the paper clip one, you can go click it and you can get more information. But then our questions, we wanted let me get the questions on the chart. We are saying explore, searching for a method in the category warm-ups. Yeah. And then discuss other methods and how to add them. So in our group here, are we all comfortable with how to search any method you want in the category group? In this warm-up category? From Andy's presentation, for me, I think it was quite clear.
Yeah, it's useful to know about the filters that exist and use that, because that really helps.
Okay. So, Andy, you can help us with the kind of filters we have? when we are doing search?
That's right. Yep. So you've got those along the top. You've got the 7 different categories, but obviously we're looking at warm-ups at the top. And then if you would like to filter, if you're doing a specific activity for 20 people, or you only have 20 minutes, or you want something that maybe uses the word teamwork or something, this is where you can become more specific.
Yeah,
and
I
filter
stopped
down.
sharing so that you can share, because there's a way you do
good.
your things. Yeah.
No problem. Let me
It's
just
okay.
make let me navigate to the...
You know, it's always easier when you show people on the screen and we can see your cursor moving.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And we can learn from just seeing how you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a
so
good
I
idea.
hope that's okay with you.
Of course. Yeah. No, of course.
Okay.
So here we have, this is where we clicked on the word warm-ups, and that's where we applied. One thing I saw you doing there, it's a bit tricky when you click on one of these methods. If you click on the use button, then it will try to use it in a session. If you click on these tags, it will take you to a tag. So it's best to just click in just some blank white space anywhere, and that's how you can open it up, because otherwise you're clicking and doing another action, which is not a bad thing, but just you might not get the result that you wanted. But yeah, this is filtering. One thing I didn't show earlier, let's say you want to do, so we've got a warm up. So we want to do something for, let's say if there's team building. So I can say, I've got a team all together, and I would like to do something that warms up my team. So here I've typed in the word team building, and that's going to search in the title and in all the text here. So this, now I can see there's only 11, but 11 very good specific methods for what I was looking for. So then I can look through any of these different 11 different methods, and then you can click on any one again and just take a look through. Some of them you'll find have some pictures that help bring it to life, but some actually have a graph or a diagram or something that can really be helpful.
Okay.
Here we go. I'll just
so Andy, that is a filter within the warm-up and games, right?
Exactly.
All
yeah,
right.
very good. Yeah, so it's like a filter within a filter.
Okay.
Like,
all right. Okay. That's so super.
Wow.
But
So
also all the categories have filters. Yeah,
they do.
And
So if you went to planning, for example, this is where you can add another filter here for planning. But I choose to, when I'm looking for something, I don't always use this. I think it's sometimes you can sort of change an activity or a method. You can tweak it and make it longer or shorter yourself. So sometimes I'll just actually click in and have a browse through. But if you do want to filter more specifically, you can do it there. Yeah.
Okay.
One thing to be, that's just to be aware, if you're trying to find something and you forget that you have one of these categories applied, that can happen quite often, where you're sort of looking at something, you go somewhere else, you come back and you forget that you've got the category applied. So you can just click it again, just to undo it, to take it off. Just remember to do that.
Great. Anybody still has a question to Andy? Or just wants more clarification?
I think we've been using this for a while. It's just that I've not been using the filter because I play around with everything actually. So it's good to know that the filter also filters within a filter in a filter.
Yeah. In a filter.
Maybe
It's like that film Inception, like a dream within a dream. Yeah,
yes,
it's like a filter within a filter. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I can share also something useful I get from this. Like once I go into the detail, then I go to some feedback from those who have used it, and I find they are quite useful. Because once you go into the detail, you go down, you get comments from other people who have used it. And it can really just open up a few things to you.
So that's just, the very bottom of any of these methods.
The other thing I find interesting is that, let's say, for example, the paperclip, you can decide to take an African pot, depending on where you are, or change it to anything else, but still you can follow the same steps and it still works for you, you know. So that is why I love these methods, because you can use it in so many ways, and you can change them up and you can make them even more, yeah. So that's why I love them. Yeah.
You can really be creative with them.
Yes.
You can change them as you like to. It's
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah, because sometimes you'll be in a place where the paperclip might just be known for paper, depending on how people have lived or where they have been. So it's usually important for you to think very quickly and think up something else that you can use instead that will be as involving as a paperclip. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
I've
you.
seen that done before with like a fork or something. You can use a utensil and say you can use it to comb your hair, or you can use it to eat, of course, or you can use it. You find different uses for something.
To dig the garden.
Yeah, to dig the garden. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing the same with a knife. People have all kinds of crazy ideas, but yeah, the fork works nicely.
But I'm terrible. When I'm in my office, I sometimes use them as a toothpick.
Oh yeah, that's a good answer.
That's very funny.
Great.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Do we have
Can we
much-
now move on to the other question?
Yeah.
Are we
We can.
comfortable?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. So now,
So
But
that-
Wim
first
has
one, which
not
is-
spoken, so I don't know if he
yeah,
has something to say.
Wim, are you with us?
Yes, I'm
might-
here. I'm
Yeah.
here.
dealing with the
Um,
kids.
Yeah, but he can say something in between.
No, I think this is fantastic. I think this is really useful. I've been, as all of us, you're used to some of the tools and the methods that you used to. So this is definitely something to open up the the opportunities for new things and new ways of leading sessions. So I'm really keen to start exploring this. So thanks. This is really great. I must say, what I can add is I'm interested to know how you would add to this as well. So I'm not sure if that's still coming, but it would be interesting if
Yeah.
there's something that one would like to share with others, how that would work.
Yeah, we actually, Andy's got another session where he talks about building, using the methods library to build. But Wim, I'm very happy to have another conversation with you if you find that this just gives you an introduction and you want to play more with this. We can share screen and have a chat one of these days.
Cool, thanks. But it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, thanks. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Really like it.
On discussion on other methods, when we were growing up, we had very many games that we played that have never been put into warm-ups or even to facilitation methods, and I would like to bring those to life. So I'll try to write them up and see if I can link up with you. I know John will help me, and I can link up with whoever else, and then we can share them with you, Andy, and see, or whoever is responsible, and see if they can be added onto the session lab. Yeah.
That's a good point, and that actually kind of leads on to that second question that we were
Yes.
looking at, which is how to add the actual new resources. So I can show you that now. I think we've still got some time in this breakout. So
We do. Yeah.
because it's very, very straightforward, really. All we've got here is we've got the add a new resource button, the big purple one. And this is where you click on this, ignore this right-hand side for a moment, but you just go ahead and start filling in all the detail. So you see you've got goal, attachments, materials, instructions, etc. If I just quickly show you, we'll go back to the paperclip one. You see it's the same headers. So goal, attachments, materials, instructions, etc. So you just need to fill in a new resource, just like you have in the existing ones. So click on that button again. Yeah, once you've filled this in, at the top, you can fill in the suggested length. So that will mean that anybody who comes to the library and filters on the different activities, they can find the right kind of activity for the time they have. So you can add in the timing, the number of participants that it's useful for. Here you can add the difficulty level. So if it's something very easy that people can learn just like that, that's a level 1. Or if it's something very difficult, then it might need some pre-work or some sense up here in order to be able to run it. But there you can add the description of goal, any attachments. So remember that can be That can be as simple as a picture, it can be a diagram, it can be a chart or a presentation, anything that fits there. Materials, if you need anything, pens, papers, projectors, anything, paperclip, for example. Instructions on what to do. So this is probably the most important part, where you would write down step 1 to 10 of how you would do this. It could be useful to include some remote instructions as well, because of course lots of people are working remotely at the moment. If you like to add in some remote tips, that's always good to have there. And then if you like, the background. And then when you're ready, when you filled it all in, you can choose where to create it. So you can create it in your personal methods library. That means only you'll be able to see it. Not much use here. You can create it in your team library. I've got a team in Session Lab. Don't worry about that for the moment. It's just one of the actual plans inside Session Lab. Or the third option, create in the IAF library. That's what we want to do. And I can click that there. I've created it. And then I can submit for approval just by clicking that green button here. And what that will do is, I've actually got, so I'm just going to forget about that because it's just a draft blank one. But here I can see, because I've got sort of admin view of the IAF library, I can see how many have been approved or declined, or any that are pending. And what that will do is it will go to maybe to Ula, I'm not sure, to some of the IAF members who will take a look at that resource, and they'll come back to you with any questions before they set it live. So it will go through a sort of approval process before it's shown to all the IAF public. So yeah, summary. Add a new resource. Go ahead.
Sorry. Why would it be declined?
I don't. These might be declined. I honestly don't know the background. Okay. I'm not sure. If I click on some of these, they might be some that have been taken from elsewhere. I can see there's just some tests that people maybe have accidentally submitted. Some of them might be quite, yeah, so I'm not sure. Some of these might be years old. I'm not really sure about why some of these are approved or declined. But yeah, if somebody has some feedback on it, they'll tell you what the feedback is rather than just decline it.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you.
That's good. If any questions on adding a method, just let me know.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yep. Okay.
One more. Yes, one more. Sorry. Yes. Is there a part where we say it can be used both online and face-to-face, or virtually and face-to-face? There's a button for that, or so it doesn't matter?
Not really. So if I go back to the all methods view, this is everything that's available to the public. So you don't need a Session Lab account or anything. They can just this is just completely available to everybody, non-IAF specific ones. But yeah, so here, when the pandemic began 18 months ago, we added a remote category on the top here. So we can click on the remote, just like you click on warm-ups. And all of these have some tips inside the instructions for running the session, and then they should have some for running the session online as well at the bottom. If I've got that, yeah, tips for running the activity online. So inside the main library, some of them are split and have two sets of instructions. Inside the IAF library, the IAF version, sometimes you'll find some. I know Ula and the team were sort of working on adding some remote tips. Whether or not that's in progress or done to some of them, I'm not totally sure. But some of them when we try to turn some of our activities to be online, we just sort of try to creatively think, if you're not using a paperclip, what else can you use? There's ways to turn things online. But yeah, that was a long answer to a short question, sorry.
You know what? It's very interesting. Exactly the same discussion happening in the other group.
Oh, really? Okay.
What about online?
It's a hot topic. Yeah. Online. Yeah, exactly. Where we find them.
But no, Ola mentioned that they actually, with each tool, they're adding notes about when you're using it face-to-face, how it works, and if you want to adapt it to use it online. So that's a very useful addition to, I'm not sure if they completed or whether they're still working on it.
I saw that too. I saw it.
And you know what? I want to comment that I was observer on a training course the other day, and when you don't use, when you're not aware of these sorts of things and you don't do things to bring people into the room, you're not adapting. One of my observations was how the trainer was just sitting there, like fixed in front of the screen. So I decided the next time I talk to that person, I'm going to use my standing desk, and I'm going to do it because it's kind of important, if you're the facilitator, to create some movement so people don't feel stuck in front of their screen. So the adaptations that need to be made between face-to-face and online, people really need to start thinking about it. And John, you'll remember when we had sessions last year with Rangbumi, Rangbumi are a theater group. And they were using cloth and dancing and all kinds of lovely things.
Wow.
To, cut through the static online situation.
That's a nice tip, because online it can be quite dry and a little bit, you're in front of the screen, and it's nice if some of the times you can add some activities that get you out your chair or get you standing or something.
Yeah, no, it's important to do that.
Really good, yeah. Get the blood flowing. And it's nice to add those as comments as well under the bottom of the category. So even if there aren't any remote tips, but if you have some, it's quite nice to add some comments at the bottom here. This, I tried working remotely in this, and we did XYZ, which was a bit different.
Oh yeah, that's lovely. Thank you. Thanks for mentioning that. Cool.
Oh, good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
no problem.
I've seen use of music in some of online meetings to just energize
Oh, nice.
or warm up. Yeah.
Yeah, I never think about music. Actually, is a nice way to get people, to get sort of the vibe or the atmosphere. That's a nice idea.
Oh, so when Association World had their conference in Belgium, they'd actually hired an Irish musician to play during coffee breaks.
Really? Wow. What kind of music? Sort of Irish music? Okay, I can imagine.
Well, he was kind of an Irish folk singer. It was kind of cool and relaxing during the coffee break.
That's a bit different. Yeah, nice to listen to. Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, we're trying to we sort of try to think of ways to bring our team meetings to life, which you think we wouldn't have a problem if we worked for Session Lab, but we tend to do the same things, and we try to find team building days or a couple of hours that we can do something creative online together. But it's always tricky. But music's a nice way to bring in sort of rhythm, spirit. It gives you a certain feeling straight away. So I'll look into a virtual Irish folk singer.
He wasn't a virtual. He was for real. I think they hired him.
Oh, they had to pay. Okay. I see.
There's probably lots of desperate musicians at this stage in the world that will.
Oh, tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Yeah, true.
Musicians, actors, all the performers, dancers.
Oh, might be able to get some A-listers then for a cut rate price, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll put my feelers out.
Guys, I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I should say rather. I've got to run. Thank you. This has been really insightful, and I'm really looking forward to check out some of those crazy methods and adding some as well. Thanks so much.
Cheers, man. Nice to meet you.
Cheers.
Wonderful.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.
All right.
Okay,
cheers.
bye.
Oh, we're leaving breakout room, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see you back in the main.
Are you trying to talk while you're muted? Yeah.
I was.
Actually, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was saying when we get to the group, can somebody volunteer, because I will be facilitating the main group and have somebody from our group from room 2. Irene,
okay, I'm volunteering Irene that she can do it.
I don't
Okay.
mind. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, and
Lovely.
then
Thanks,
the others
Irene.
we can add in the chat. We can add into the chat when she's doing
Sure.
the presentation, just in case there is
No problem.
something we feel we can add into it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This has really
Okay.
a great learning session for all of us, and we're privileged to have
Description. Here we go, we're back.
Because I'm dropping out every minute. This meeting is being recorded. I've heard it about 5 times so far.
She doesn't say it quietly, does she?
No, this is not a discreet woman.
No. She wants you to know. That's important, at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Andy,
So
I just
thank you. Yeah.
I just heard, Andy, that England is losing by 2 goals. It's done.
Yeah.
I don't think
Really,
so.
no, you have to choose this moment, don't you?
No, I think
You know, I must say, I think he's playing a warm-up
Sorry.
game with us here. 2 truth and a lie. What is the lie and what is the truth?
There's two lies there, two goal lies, I think. 2 lies and no truth.
Okay.
2 lies, no truth.
So
It's not
we are
such a fun
back.
game.
You know, when people start talking about
Yes.
football, everything goes everywhere. So we get involved and it changes a lot of things. So let's continue. Thank you for coming back from the sessions, and I think we are all here. We are going to share from each group what were the highlights, what did you like, what didn't you like when you used the methods, what were the discussions like. Anything not in a particular order, just mention the things that you liked about the session, the things that you learned, things that were new, and that kind of thing. So we'll start with the group that I was not in, the one that Ula was in. So we start with that one.
Yeah, well, I would invite the others that were a part of the group to give us some feedback on what they took away from what I was trying to share, how to navigate the library. There was...
Hi everyone. Yeah. Ula, it's Lillian. Can I go ahead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
From Botswana. So for me, look, it's actually my time creating the IAF website. I'm very, very impressed. I love the fact that it is a buffet of energizers, warm-ups and exercises that can keep the participants engaged. I think in my short of facilitator, I've probably used 3-4 energizers. So I will have a lot of time after this just to really go through the website to appreciate the session lab and all the exercises. So I'm very grateful for having just the very short we had with Ula showing us how to actually do the sketch. I think for me, just at least getting access to the different exercises, that's what I'm looking forward to after this call. I think in terms of navigating the platform, it's very easy, it's explanatory. Ula did show us the hashtags. Whatever it is, if you are looking for a creative idea or creative exercise, if there's a hashtag on creativity or fun or team building, which makes it easier to narrow down this. Yeah, let me just end off there. Thank you, Ula and team.
Thank you. Back to you, Ula, again. Would you like to share something, or anyone else from that group?
I would ask others to give their feedback. Ching, I see you.
Yeah, for me, it was a maze. Is it maze? Where you have so many corners and, yeah, for me, it was my first time, and it's just like, yeah, I'm looking forward to finding time, just me and the website, so that I can find my way granary of so much resources.
Yeah, and I think that's the main message that came out of our sharing. And I will also ask Anasia or Anasia, I don't know if I pronounce it correctly, really, to share her experience of what I showed. I think it really takes that you individually go and explore. Yeah. And what happened to me at times, you know, you touch a hashtag and boom, the whole search result changes. So don't be afraid of that. You can always go back. You can always start from just clicking on IAF library and you have the whole view of everything again. It always narrows down your search and you can switch around your search criteria. That also gives you another view. So because it's a very open search platform. I don't know how to describe it, Andy. It's really, it searches for any word, for any hashtag, for any, I mean, it's, and you can combine them in different ways. So it's very, very open.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't know,
Right.
Anasia has something to say?
Yes, I think the site is very resourceful. It just need one to have time and explore, you know, the methods are, you know, are so many, and you have very good options to filter and take the ones that you can create easily. And you can have a method according to what you have and the message you want to display. You can merge the method with your session. So it is it's fascinating. It has a lot. It's just maybe for myself, it's not my first time, but I've been lazy to explore.
Thank you, Anasia. That's really, really great. We had our session. Our session was quite interesting. We learned how to filter. We learned a lot of things. We were with Andy, so we made sure that he really helped us. So we navigated quite a bit. We saw how to even add methods to the library and how to just go through the process. And it's quite easy. So we need to all, you know, think up of, you know, methods that we can add. And I was just sharing how we had so many games when we were growing up. And if we could turn them into methods, they would really be great warm-ups, or even methods can be used in the method lab. So I think we need to work together and just put those games that we played when we were young, or I still play them anyway, but we can put them together and add them to the lab. That would be really great. We also realized that there were some that are still pending for approval. I know John had one that was pending. So I don't know if John, you'd like to share with us the one that is pending?
Sure, I will do.
Or later, are you going to share later or now?
Well, no, I think now is the time.
Oh, great, yeah.
But let's just move on to the next, but because I see time is getting a bit tight.
Yeah, it's getting...
But is there anybody else from that group before I go on who wants to add?
I don't know. Shada, you'd like to say? Ben, okay.
Let's hear from the rest and then John will go ahead.
Oh, okay. Shada?
I'm thank you.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of an energizer, just very short version. And I think, Cheng, you were in a great session we had with the Kenya chapter recently, and Julius, who's the chapter coordinator, one of them, did this session, and he asked us to think of our favorite African proverb, or a proverb that speaks to us. Okay, it doesn't have to be an African proverb, it can be a proverb from anywhere. And I'm just going to ask people to think of one and put it in the chat the way I've just done. This is one of my all-time favorites, and I use this a lot in workshops. No matter how long the night, the day will surely come. And that's a Congolese proverb. And of course, it speaks about resilience and persistence and, you know, keeping faith, if you like. So here we go. I'm just going to pick a few people, just maybe 2-3 people to speak about their proverb, because we can't take too long, unfortunately, although I'd love to spend the rest of the time on this. So Irene has said, one finger does not kill a lice. And Liliana says, if you want to go far, go alone. If you want to go further, go together. Okay, any more? Lillian, do you want to tell us a bit more about that? Why you like that?
Thanks, John. I love this quote because it talks a lot about teamwork. In order for one to really be successful, it's about a team spirit. So a lot of the work I do is around really improving work ethic, and that is brought about by teamwork. Thanks, John.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Lillian. Aichi Kupangani Kuchagua. Planning is making a choice from Mwalimu Nyerere. I think Aichi should tell us a bit more about why you like that. Aichi?
No, I bring this up because we use it in meetings where in workshops where we are training on entrepreneurship, business, have to plan. So that's one of the quotes which we use often.
Fantastic, thank you.
Yeah.
Acheng says, a home without daughters is like a river without a source. Like to tell us about that, Acheng? Acheng?
Yeah, the little one is here. She needs my attention. Just a moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She's going to tell us about it. Eh? Home without daughters is like a river without a source. She's demonstrating it right now. Okay, Shada says, don't forget the honey bird. That's hers.
Yeah, that's it. It was a proverb, and it means that, you know, when you harvest the honey, don't forget the role that the honeybird played in being able to get the honey. You know, so it's noticing the connectedness, that not just between humans, but between humans and nature and all that we reap from nature.
Lovely, thank you, Shada. And from Irene, the wood that is in the store does not laugh at the wood in the fire. So Irene, do you want to tell us about that?
It usually sounds better in my mother tongue.
Say it in Kamba, please. Say it in Kamba for us.
It usually sounds better in mother tongue. It goes, so, and what it means is that do not love people when they're in difficult times, because everybody goes through a difficult time, or don't laugh at people when they are struggling, because everybody always struggles. And it's about just empathy, you know, having empathy on people who are in difficult situations. So that's one. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Irene. And Ben, no matter how hot your hunger is, it cannot cook yam.
So what that means basically is, no matter how hungry you are at something, sorry, I don't mean hunger. Sorry, I've flipped it. No matter how hungry you are, your that cannot solve issues. You know what I mean? So at some point in time, you have to let things go. All right. Yeah, and let things go. Yeah, basically.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Ben. And you can see how this goes. Actually, you know, I've been in sessions where you can easily spend an hour, you know. So this, once they get flowing, it's a really powerful tool. One more from Irene. Obedience is sweeter than the softest meat from a lamb. Wow. So I just want to show you what I did earlier. I'm showing off a bit now, but I actually was able to put this up on Session Lab, although it's waiting approval. So I hope that Andy and Ola, or whoever is responsible, will approve this. But actually, I just wanted to share how easy it is to put up a method. And I'd like to encourage everybody to think of at least one or two things to put up. So I put the goal, the materials. I tried to put a line about online, a line about face-to-face, and the instructions, you know. I've put background, I've put a link to something which I'll put in the chat anyway from Chiku Malunga, who really did a lot of pioneering work on using African proverbs in organizational development. So hope you don't mind me showing off here. But I found tonight that it's actually pretty easy to upload a method, and then you submit it, and then there's an approving team, and assuming it gets approved, then it's there for public consumption.
Yeah, this is great, John. This is great. Thank you so much for that contribution.
Right.
And we also want that richness from other cultures to come through in our methods database. I think that is something that as IAF we have not really tapped in enough yet. I think the richness of all the different cultures globally. And thanks for this. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
And we will notify the team that's reviewing. I could maybe just add one point is the review is really just checking that it is that the process is clear and the process makes sense that you are describing, and that it is really a process, you know, that we can engage groups with. We had one contribution recently where it was just a tool, a spreadsheet, but there was no description how to use it, in which context to use it, what the purpose was. So, and we want that person to understand about the process of these methods.
Sure.
And that's all we do. Right. Yeah.
I look forward to any feedback. That's great.
Okay. We have 10 minutes.
Yep.
To wrap up.
We need to go to Andy very quickly, who's going to tell us about session design, and then we're going to do our wrap-up questions.
Yeah.
Do you still want to look at Session Lab? Because I know it's obviously, we can first definitely look at the session planner. It's just, that's a kind of 45-minute presentation in itself. So I will just, you know, I will just talk about a couple of, you know, highlights in 5 minutes if you like, but I know we've only got 10 minutes.
Good.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
No problem. Okay, so just a few minutes on the session planner. So back to sharing my screen. So earlier when I talked about those two parts of Session Lab, the methods library and then the session planner, this is the second part, the session planner. You can get to it very easily from when you're inside the library. You just need to click on the Session Lab logo in the top. So I've clicked on that, and that's taken me straight to my Session Lab account, which looks like this. But if you don't have a Session Lab account, you'll be taken instead to the sign up page. This is where you can create a free account, log in, and use the IAF sign up with your IAF credentials. Clicking on that. But anyway, let's go back to Session Lab, being logged into Session Lab here. Session Lab's all about creating these different agendas. So I'm going to just do a new session and just choose a blank session just to give you the idea of the building sort of blocks of creating an agenda. This is a new agenda. I'm creating lots of blocks of time inside my agenda, so it becomes sort of fuller. I've got an introduction. I might like to do a warm up here. That's where I might add in my activity. I might like to do I might have a presentation happening afterwards. If I can spell it right, I might have a debrief. I spelled that fine. And then I might have a break just afterwards here. See how the different parts of my day are being built up. To start my session at a reasonable hour of the day, let's say 9 a.m. I might like the presentation to go on for 2 hours. So I've actually got 120 minutes to go in here. And then finally, once I'm sort of happy with how my session is being put together, I might like to add in some color categories, which will help bring it to life. So I've got a warm up, I've got an energizer that will go This on the left-hand side shows a vertical kind of view of how your session is being built. I haven't really, well, I've got a break category, so I can apply a break. I haven't got a presentation category, so I might add that one on there. Let's add a new category. And there I can now call that a presentation. So you see how your how the left-hand side really represents how your session starts to be built. But I want to really focus on the link between those two big parts, between the IAF library and getting that that fantastic activity that you just found into your agenda. So let's say we want to add in a nice new warm-up. So I might like to take out this block that I created. So I'm just going to delete that one. Here's the sort of key action buttons down the right-hand side here. We're just going to focus on the search one here. And I can choose where to search for content. And if you remember from the library, these are the same different library views that you have. I want to search in the IAF library. I want to search for a fantastic warm-up. So I'm just going to type in the word warm-up. And again, this will show me just using that search function, will search inside the title, any tags, any description. So any text inside that method, this will search. So again, I'm being shown, again, the pay-per-click method, just like before. I can click on it, again, have a read, think, decide if it looks useful to me. And if I do like it, just click, drag, and drop it into my agenda. Let's do that again. Click, drag, and drop it into my agenda. And there I might like to add, I actually want to do this for 30 minutes because I've got a larger audience. I'll give it that category color here. And if I'd like to browse through any more, maybe I'd like the look of a one-word method to maybe wrap up my day with, or let's have it after the break to warm everybody back up again. I might like to again drag and drop that into my session, and you'll see the timing automatically updates. So at the moment, we've got a 3-hour, 2-minute long session. I want this one-word method to be just a 10-minute warm-up after lunch, after our break. And so I can see now the session's 3 hours and 10 minutes. So really, the session planner, if you'd like to have a longer chat about it or anything, please feel free to get in touch with me. We can do that. But really, the main thing we're focused on here is just using the search function and searching that IAF library, finding that keyword that you're searching for, whether it's a warm-up, an energizer, etc. Clicking on them, finding one you like, and then dragging and dropping it into your agenda. There's lots of other bits and pieces inside this agenda planner. So inviting collaborators, exporting to PDF, leaving comments, adding attachments, lots of different things you can do. But yeah, just for now, we focused on adding a block into the agenda. So I'll finish it there because I know we're tight on time. Feel free to shout any questions.
Andy, I just wanted you to share with us the pricing structure for those who want the pro subscription service.
Sure, no, good idea. There we go. So if I go back to my browser, I'm just going to go to the pricing page, and this will give you an idea of how this works. So the different subscriptions, when you create a Session Lab account, when you have a Session Lab account, you can keep using Session Lab completely free. So if you want access to, of course, your IAF library is depending upon your IAF membership, but the access to the full library is all completely free. You can see on the sessionlab.com/pricing page that you can access that public library on the basic plan. You can have a limit of 10 sessions. If you want to create an 11th session, you just have to delete one of your current sessions and then you can make another one. But you've really just got the pro, the team, and I would ignore the enterprise because that's a very specific plan for some companies that might want multiple workspaces or such things. But really, if you want some pro features, such as the ability to click on that share button to invite people to work on your agenda with you, to create breakout sessions or parallel tracks, so you can show that in your agenda, multi-day sessions, etc., or exporting to Word, that would be the sort of pro plan. You can choose to pay annually or monthly if you wanted that feature. Similarly, if there's a team of you that want to work together, the team starts at 5 seats. So while this looks more expensive than the Pro, actually, if you've got 5 members, at least 5 members that would want to use Session Lab, it would be more cost effective to take a team subscription. And what that means is you get all the features of the Pro, but some extra features, such as if I just quickly jump back to my session lab, you see I've got my own team workspace. Everybody's got a personal one, which is full of private sessions that no one will see unless you share them with somebody. But I've got a team workspace here, and that's what you would get with that team. But yeah, sessionlab.com/pricing. I'll put this just inside the chat. That would be the best place to go to understand the different levels, the different plans in Session Lab.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other question for Andy? All right, I passed the.
Excuse me, John. Once you develop a session in the website, how is it easy to just export it to another format? Like if you want to have it printed, or you want now to use it in your workshop or meeting?
Of course, no problem. So if you're, let's go back to our quite basic session here at the moment. But let's pretend we finished with this agenda. You can do a number of things. You can share it with somebody, but remember this is a paid pro feature. You can share, but you can choose to export as a PDF if you like. This is completely free. You don't need a paid account to do that. You can toggle on some things, take on some different settings, and then save the PDF as well. Or if you are a Pro member, you can. The final option is to export to Word if you are a Pro member. But the PDF option or the print option is available for everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Okay, Shada. Okay, I can hear from Shada. Okay, sorry, Shada, go ahead.
Okay, so I just want to know, of those of you who participated, can you think of any ideas, any ways that we can make the methods library more vibrant and more useful to IAF members? And also, I want to flip that question on its head. Do we need to just keep sharing information about what's in the, or the existence of the methods lab with members? What do you think? Lillian, what do you think? Anasia?
I think we can use the same session as we've used here now to IAF members in our region, and then take them through as we did here now, and then we can learn from each other.
Okay, so should we look at sessions for chapters, Anasia?
Yeah, for the same.
All right, thank you. That's an interesting option. Lillian, you had just unmuted and you were going to say something.
I agree with Anasia. Look, it's beautiful content that I think a lot of us who are not aware of. Maybe more of these sessions would be very helpful. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, Irene, that's an interesting comment. Co-creating more methods. Love it. Yeah, that's an interesting one. But, and you know, also the thing about facilitation methods, I mean, there's these two resources, but there are also other organizations and companies that share facilitation resources and games and all those sorts of things. So, you know, there are loads of resources out there, and really the opportunities to make our sessions more vibrant and more creative. Really, there's, you know, we open to lots. Any other ideas? Oh, Irene's put another suggestion there. Use the methods and raise issues that we may not understand or even appreciate. Thank you for that, Irene. And look up existing methods and comment on how to use it in different ways. I love that. I was actually thinking about that one earlier, Ulla. So that's a lovely idea. Thank you. And yeah, I think possible to explore some barriers to members' participation. Okay, that's a complex question. I'm not sure I understand it, Aichi. Do you want to explain that?
Yeah, I'm just like seeing even if participation in this session has not been as we expected, unless we are so few, I don't know. So maybe we could either promote or sort of share more how we have learned from this session. So maybe so that in future we can have more participants.
Mm-hmm.
That is just that's what I'm trying to bring up.
Ah, okay. Oh, right. I'm with you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think just a quick response, Aichi. I mean, one, I think a number of people have participated in other sessions, so we're at the back end of these. But secondly, what I suggest is that any of us can take an initiative to share with other people. You know, we don't have to organize a special session. You know, if maybe in a chapter meeting one day, you get a chance to share with some, you know, just spend 15 minutes having a quick look like we did at how it works. We did that a lot with induction sessions in the past, you know, so I think that's how we can all help each other in quite simple ways.
Okay.
Yep, that's pretty good. That's quite a few and very interesting set of options. So thank you all very much. I think I'm going to hand over to Ben now to do the closing.
Yeah, so I want to thank everybody for today. We've gone past 4 minutes of our time. I don't want to take so much time from Andy because he's really ready to go watch this game. And I know they will win. I think they will lose.
So do I.
Thank you, my team, for doing this. I'm grateful for that. And thank you, Andy and Ula, for joining us well. And thank you, Lillian and Achen for joining us well. Please look out for other events coming up on the IAF website. And let's keep in touch. Thank you and take care of yourself. Yeah.
Hey.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
It was very engaging.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good session. Be well, everybody. Bye.
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 Bye,
Nice
everyone.
meeting you. Hope to see you again.
Yes, I
Yes,
hope so
soon.
too. Yes.